All right, Wiffle Ball Nation, welcome to Season 21 of the Skibby Wiffle Ball League, presented by 1356 Public House. My name is Spencer Bogat, and I'm joined up here in the booth by Edlo Donnan. Edlo, how are you doing today?
Doing great. I always look forward to this game. We had some weather scare at the beginning, thought it was going to rain, but it is clear, bright, and sunny, which is a great recipe for good wiffle ball.
Yes, I agree. You know, the weather in St. Louis is one of those things that you just never really seem to know what you're going to get, kind of like the matchup today, and we'll get into that here in a second. But I really wanted to give a nice shout out to 1356 Public House. They are our official sponsor, presenting sponsor of the league, and we will be joining them opening night for our social event in their private event space. That's at 1356 Public House to kick off a Memorial Day weekend. Edlo, tell me a little bit about your favorite thing to get at 1356 Public House.
Spencer, when I go out to dinner, period, I'm a big apps guy. I like appetizers. And 1356 Public House has some of the best apps in St. Louis. And you can just go there and get 5 or 6 of them, maybe 7 of them, and have a great time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You know, and without them, this league really would, not be possible. So we really appreciate them. Now, let's get into what we are really all here for today. Today is the day. This is the day that Season 21 officially kicks off. Game 1. This game is first time we're doing it live. It's against 2 teams that have never played in Game 1 before.
That's right.
And we're just really excited. Edlo, this is not your first rodeo, though. This is your 3rd time up here in the booth. I have done this game before. First time in the booth, though. I'm usually on the sidelines. Let's just hop into this. You know, a couple of things to note. Expos are usually one of the teams that are playing this game. They are not this year. We've got the Rockies and the Athletics playing this game. This is a game for both of them that really you might be able to label as a must-win based on what they did last year. What are your thoughts on their chances?
So I like both these teams. I think these teams have high ceilings. We've seen the A's in the finals before. The Rockies, we know, have won multiple times now. I think these are some of the pivotal teams that at any point they could just upend the league with a great season. They both have the personnel, they have the pitching, they have the hitting. I really do think that one of these teams are going to make a shock run. And I don't know which yet, but we'll see after this first game. It should be a good indicator of their seasons to come.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, we have the Rockies who had an unusual season last year. They went 2-8. That's a team that's traditionally making the playoffs, traditionally making a run. And last year, I think a lot of teams were excited to see them. We had the Athletics, 4-6 last year, a team that has always lived on that 6-4, 5-5, 4-6 level. They've made some additions to the roster that we'll get into in a little bit. But, this should be a pretty close matchup. We've got the A's. They've got Evan on the mound, and he's going up against Chad.
Yeah.
What do you think? Which team has the best pitching arsenal going into today's game?
I will tell you, I think that these are 2 of the best pitchers in the league. And they don't always get the Cy Wiffle nominations and anything like that, but truly, if you look at their stuff, they're just as good as anybody. I think that Chad has the best knuckleball in this league. And
wow.
I know that's hard. I know.
Wow.
A lot of people say Jimmy, but I have been in the batter's box, and I have seen his knuckleball do corkscrews. So if he just threw that the entire game, I think it would give the Athletic fits. We will see. And then I think Evan has got great stuff up and down. He's got one of the best controls in the league. He can hit the corners. He was a college pitcher. He played baseball his whole life, and it has translated very well to the wiffle ball field.
Yeah, I think I agree with your assessment there. That is some high praise for that knuckleball, considering that Jimmy Nelson, that's kind of what he's known for besides some of his shouting antics, I would say, is his knuckleball.
Yeah, I know.
But, all in all, I think the pitching matchup's pretty close, pretty even. Evan's going into his sophomore year here, so, it's a very well-known thing about this league. Sometimes rookies struggle, and then they come out and, like a little butterfly, come out in their second season. Mm-hmm. All right, let's hop into this. Rockies from the Cardinal Blinds division. We like to thank our sponsors, and the Athletics from the Corner Pub division. Man, they've got some good little pepper jack cheese bites that I love getting in my mouth. I love that.
Yeah.
And also Doug Meyer from the Mo with Mojo, the official sponsor of today's matchup breakdown. Let's hop into these lineups, Edlo, because I think that's really where we're going to see a lot of the nuts and bolts of today. Mm-hmm. Let's start with the Rockies. They're starting out with Jason Worstenholm. Last year, struggled a little bit on the average, but did have some pop. 10 home runs, 16 RBIs, followed by former MVP Blake Spencer as the extra hitter. Again, decent year, but for his standards, I think he'd like to raise his average up, hit about 477, followed by Grant Boyd returning to the SWBL, missed last year because of COVID. And then Brian Kenny, he's kind of the unofficial manager of the team. I don't know if him and Blake actually split responsibilities. He has said on his captain's interview he's hoping for a better offensive year from his side of the plate. And then hitting fifth, Adam North, who's a guy who's a little bit of a wild card. Sometimes he can put a really important hit in the game. Had a decent year last year, hit 500 and had 18 RBIs. What do you think about this lineup?
Well, I think the Rockies have always made hay on all of their players at any time being a tough out. And you can see that. These are very evenly placed stats among everybody. Brian had a down year. I think he's due for another. And I really do think that at the end of this year, we could be looking at 4 players on the Rockies with double-digit home runs. They're right there. They're knocking on the door. And if they do that, it'll be very hard not to see them making a deep run in the playoffs.
Wow, that's some for a team that was 2-8 last year. I think that's pretty important to categorize. So let's hop into the Athletics here. They're out there warming up on the field currently right now. Let's hop into their lineup. We got Paul Castellano. Everybody knows Paul, former MVP, leading off for us, playing left field. Had a little bit of a down year for the power statistics, but all in all, he's a guy that can do everything for this team. Hitting second, we have Steve Hayes in right field, former Gold Glove and former All-Star. 12 home runs, 21 RBIs. Decent year for him as well.
Yep.
Michael Carl returning, hitting in the 3-hole. Didn't play as many games as he typically would, so power and RBI stats a little bit down, but always seems to put the ball in play.
Yeah.
And Evan Kuo, who didn't really hit last year, who's also pitching for the Athletics. He will be hitting fourth. He has 0 hitting stats. And just to make a note, Chris Vorbeck, Josh Rogers, Keaton Adams, and Alex Heck all out of town. So this team is rolling with 4. The 4 they got, the 4 they're going to play.
That's right.
What do you think about the A's?
This is the year that I think the A's are officially Steve Hayes' team. He's the head, he's the heart, he's the soul, he's the unmentionables of this entire team. It always has been Alex Heck's team, but he's here, he's ready to go, and I really do want to christen this as Steve Hayes' team, with Alex also being a co-captain. But I think that as this team goes, Steve will go. If he has a great year, if he pitches well as the second pitcher, they will have success. If not, well, we might see another 4-6.
Now, this team has always spotted that mantra, shock the world, and I got to be honest with you, ever since they made that playoff run, I don't think they've been shocking too many people. Do you think this is a season that they can get back in the playoffs? Is this a roster that's currently constructed that could make that run like they have before?
I do. I think this team likes each other. I think they have good camaraderie. Their friendship is on all-time high levels, and sometimes that really does help. Ask 3 years ago, the Expos.
That's true. Yeah, any team can do it. All right, we are going to thank Ballast Dental Care, who's the official playoff sponsor, brand new to the league. Whether you're hoisting the trophy or not at the end of Memorial Day weekend, your teeth will always be cared for like a winner at Ballast Dental Care. All right, let's get to our Player of the Game candidates, brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Who do you got today, Edlo? Who's your Player of the Game?
My player of this game is Steve Hayes. I see him going deep. He performs very well under pressure. I could see a 3 home run, 5 RBI, 800 average game. I'm just a really big high on Steve Hayes guy.
That's a good choice. I'm going to go the other direction. I'm going to go with Grant Boyd, who was missing from the team last year. This team, historically, has always made the playoffs. They've always been in contention. And if you sit back and ask yourself, what player is missing from that previous roster? It's Grant Boyd.
Interesting.
Can pitch a little bit. He's got that lefty swing. We all know that the tree fell down in right field.
Yep.
Could that be a benefit? I'm going with Grant Boyd today.
Lovely pick, Spencer.
All right, that does it for our pregame here today, everyone. We're going to hop right into the top of the first inning with the Athletics facing the Rockies. Strap in, get ready to go, and let's play ball.
All right.
Hey, what do you say, Jay? What do you say, man?
All right, and to start us off here, we talked about him in the pregame, Edlo. We have Evan sporting the green Athletics Ricky Henderson jersey. I didn't know Ricky was much of a pitcher, and a swing from Jason Worstenholm.
That's that pitching. I tell you, it fell out of the sky, right on the ground. But you got to swing. First pitch, you got to swing.
Do you think that in this league, this is as from an offensive perspective, this is a strategy is to be aggressive? First game jitters. You want to sit back and wait. What's your strategy here, Edlo?
It's first game jitters. All the players on the field right now. Oh my!
And
gosh.
a drive to left. Steve Hayes pops up. Back and he makes the grab.
Wow! What a first out of the SWBL season. That is why he's a Gold Glover, folks.
What a great snag. Always sporting the McGuire jersey. Steve's a guy that's been around before. He makes those plays sometimes look a little bit more difficult than they need to, but he comes in with the grab, and that's out number 1.
Wow, I can't believe.
And there's a drive to left field. Blake Spencer with the home run.
Steve can't get that one. That one is too hard hit.
That was a drive to left, and Blake is starting his year off like the MVP caliber talent that he is.
Now here's your player to watch. Let's see this at bat. This is going to be pivotal, very important.
And we want to thank the Ronald McDonald House, courtesy of Ever Dolcevita, for that home run.
Ever Dolce Vita.
They are the official home run sponsor of the SWBL, so thank you to them.
Forever the sweet life, if you can speak Spanish, but you can't. So, yeah, both these teams are deathly afraid of performing poorly because if you start your season 0-1 before you even get to Memorial Day weekend, sometimes it can be hard to overcome.
Yes, I love that. Was a very good point. And I know we have a lot of new viewers today. Just want to go over the basic rules of the Skibby Wiffle Ball League. We have a mile per hour rule where you have to throw 55 miles per hour and lower. Each batter can face up to 8 balls as a walk.
That's a walk. Run on first.
If a ball hits you, it's 2 balls. You get 3 strikes. We have a strike zone that you can see. Maybe not sure. If the ball hits the strike zone, that is a strike. 3 strikes is an out. If you take a strike as your first strike and you do not swing and it hits the zone, you are out.
That's right.
Okay, we play 5 innings here, 7 runs allowed per inning, except for the last inning, and a drive to right field by Brian Kenny.
That's gone. Wow, what a start. That's exactly how Brian wanted to start the season. Last year, a weak offensive performance. This year, not so much. He's on pace to go 1,000 with about 80 home runs.
That was a great start to Brian's season. He already spoke about preseason, about wanting to get back in the swing of things. That's a great start for him as the Rockies take a 3-0 lead early in this Game 1 matchup.
Yeah. What's your least favorite lead to be down in the game?
Least favorite lead to be down in a game, I would say, is 7-0 after 1.
Tough. Yeah.
Especially if you are the home team.
Yeah.
It is kind of a misconception. I prefer to be the away team just so I can set the momentum. And swing and a miss from Adam North there. We do have a radar gun that works and tells people the speed of the pitch. If you throw over 55, it is automatically a ball.
Yeah.
Players run the bases. They swing the bats. They do everything else that you do in a baseball game.
I think Evan has the best technical form of any pitcher. He's got the leg lift. It's a real legitimate MLB quality go to play.
I agree. Most, historically, success comes from those that play tennis in this league.
That's true.
Or soccer a little bit. And strike 3 for Evan. That's 2 outs, and we will move to the bottom of the first inning. Again, just want to thank our sponsors throughout the game. Cardinal Blinds and Shutters, Corner Pub and Grill, and Ketting Eye Center as our division sponsors. We really appreciate their support.
Thank you.
If you're someone that's listening and you're looking to get a new set of eyeballs, why don't you head over to Ketting Eye Center. If you're just bought a house and you need some blinds because you like walking around your house in the nude, go to Cardinal Blinds and Shutters. They can hook you up with some blinds. And I already mentioned earlier, but those pepper jack little cheese cubes, my boy, put them in my mouth from Corner Pub and Grill. What do you think about those cubes, boy?
I've had them more times than I care to admit, and I think I'll go with them after this game, and I'll get an order.
I agree. All right, we have the Rockies taking the field. I know we talked a little bit about our players of the game. We talked about the pitchers. We talked about the hitters. Rockies are up 3-0, Edlo.
Yep.
Is there, what would you like to see from the Rockies here to have a very successful inning?
The Rockies need to go 2 outs right away, and that will be a very, very hard thing to overcome for the A's because there's nothing worse than getting scored on in the first inning, multiples, and then coming out and laying a big fat goose egg.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially in Game 1, most of these players have not played since about a year ago. Everyone's Game 1 of the Wiffle Ball League. It's kind of you kind of freak yourself out. You're like, do I remember how to play this game? Do I remember how to hit?
Yeah. Do I remember the rules? Half the time, I don't know the rules.
Yeah, and sometimes that time off is good for teams. We saw Blake have a down year. We saw Brian have a down year. And they come out swinging with home runs. So sometimes, it's nice to get that Men in Black little flash to the eyes and forget about what happened last year and start off this year just fresh.
That's exactly right. And that's what I said pre-game was, at any point, any of these Rockies could just go off and have a big fat dinger. So, truly, I'm not surprised by that first inning.
Fun fact for you and all the people watching out there, the Rockies made 10 consecutive playoff berths, and Paul Castellano doesn't want to hear about their playoff berths. He hits a home run to right center, and you can kiss that one goodbye. That's one for the fans.
I think that was the knuckleball. I truly do. That was a home run first pitch knuckleball. Wow. Oh, Steve trying to go back to back.
Steve Hayes up here for the first time of his season 21 appearance, and he's down 0-2 very quickly, being a very aggressive, like the Mark McGwire jersey that he's sporting.
I asked Steve about his ACL. He said he really stretched it out. It's real nice and loose this year, so we're not going to see any pops. We're going to see some really good, healthy seasons, no injuries, knock on wood, 1, 2, 3.
All right, and that ball hits Steve in the rectal area, which counts for 2 balls, and it's 3-2 count, and 4-2.
It's a good at bat so far. Steve has seen a lot of pitches, but here comes the knuckle.
Oh, that one almost squeaked in there, folks.
Yep.
Great eyes by the former Gold Glover,
Yeah.
which you earn by playing good defense.
That's right. That's exactly right. I wonder if they get hot in these jerseys. They're very legit. They're game quality. Oh,
And
Steve
a
sends it on.
drive, and it looks like he's out to me. Just
You know-
heard the GoPro beeping.
You know, that probably was high. But you never know. Those knuckleballs can come down, so I'm swinging at that too, 10 out of 10 times.
All right, so Paul kind of relieved some of the bottom of the first stress. It's a 3-1 game. Michael Carl coming up there swinging. Man, that knuckleball seems to really be knuckling today.
I love this approach by the A's, though. They are coming out. They are aggressive, and they are swinging the bat.
Yeah, going back to your point about the jerseys, I have a Phillies John Kruk jersey that I wear once a year, and the reason
100%
why,
wool.
yeah, it's
Merino
it is
wool.
hot, and I do it just for the sake of like tradition.
Sure.
But it's one of those things, and a little shot to left. The sure-handed Brian Kenny gets it to end the bottom of the first.
I'll tell you
To
what.
finish the point, the jerseys are hotter than hell, and I would not recommend that even to someone that I hate.
Yeah. Going to the top of the second, score is 3-1 Rockies to A's. That's not bad. That's within reachable for everybody. I mean, really, so far, I think we've seen a pretty standard game. That first catch was a great highlight, but I'm looking for somebody to hang a real crooked number in here. Look for a 7.
Yep.
Look for a 6. I could see that. Maybe even here.
That's right, Eblo. And the betting experts, Vegas had the over/under for runs this game set at 12.5.
Oh, wow.
Which is an interesting number that we could get into, but we're not going to. And they had the A's as a half-run favorite because of the pitching matchup. So far, the Rockies are, the team that maybe people didn't respect, the bettors. So
Yeah, I think that truly for me, the Rockies are maybe a little bit slight favorite here, but it makes sense.
yeah, I think if you take pedigree into account things that happened in the past, definitely would say that the Rockies historically would be the team that you probably would bet on, but. And a little flare right field.
That's a
Jason
single,
making
baby.
things happen.
That's a single, baby.
You know what player that reminded me of?
Who?
Germer. That was a
Oh.
Germer hit if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, he'll go 400 average on just 10 hits like that, but it's a hit. In the scorebook, it's a hit.
Yes, and we were getting into this a little bit, but I want to remind everyone that's watching today that don't forget to sign up for Fantasy Wiffle.
Oh my god.
Hard drive to left field. They're not going to get to it in time.
I didn't see anything.
And there's a little bit of argument. The nice thing about this league is sometimes you may want to scream and yell, but at the end of the day, the team that complains the most usually gets their way. So in this instance, that was Jason.
Both teams are supposed to make their own calls in this league, but it seems like everybody really defers straight to whoever they want to. Whoever they like the most, they look at them and ask them to make the call for them.
Yes.
And the best thing is to shut up and not say anything and let them figure it out.
Yes, that is why the Twins have a 34% win rate when it comes down to disagreement on calls.
Grant,
and
what
a
a single.
perfectly placed ball down the line.
Uh-oh.
Steve saves it. Jason's running home. He's going to
Gonna
make
score
it.
one.
Blake's going to make it. There's another run. 4-1 for the Rockies. Playing a little bit of small ball, which is not necessarily a strategy you see too often, but it's working for them here in the top of the second.
That's Grant. He's one of the smartest players out there. He knows exactly where to put that ball, and he did it on purpose. Good for him.
Now, we got Brian Kenny up here, homered in his first at bat. He's looking to really start off his season 20 campaign in a strong way by putting some more. Ooh, that was a little fast.
Fun fact: BK has not washed this shirt since last season. He just let it out to the sun and let it go. Oh no!
Yeah, back.
Oh, good idea, but that isn't
And
out. Pulls everybody back. Nobody's halfway.
Very conveniently hits it right back to the pitcher. Sporting the Pringles socks. Got to wonder if those are slowing him down, all those trans fats.
I actually asked him before the game if cheese Pringles were his favorite flavor. He said it's actually his third: barbecue, then sour cream, then cheddar. So
Is that a sponsorship issue that they just didn't feel comfortable giving him that barbecue Pringle sponsorship, or do you think
that's exactly right. That's
Okay.
exactly what happened. Yeah. No, he wanted
based off
barbecue.
last year's performance? Is that what?
That's right.
Boils down to.
They said last year you were a cheddar player. Hopefully you can turn into a barbecue player this season.
And we got Adam up here, first and third, 1 out. Play 2 outs in this league. And here's the pitch. Oh, a nice little lob. Didn't see that one coming. Hard to adjust to that one, and he's got another strike on the board.
You know, Adam North implies the existence of an Eve South, Spencer.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, exactly.
And way to lay off that one. Tough for the lefty-lefty matchup.
Evan is burning those pitches down. He knows that people like to go for pitches down low in the zone, and he's burning them right into the ground. Oh,
and Adam, a drive to the center field, getting over the fence for a 3-run home run.
Wow.
And the Rockies are now up 7-1, really putting it on the A's. And that run over-under number is really looking like it's going to hit over today.
The boys in Vegas are sweating, Spencer.
I think
whoever
they're
set 12.5 might have been foolish.
You know, I think they traditionally go off average runs scored per game last year, but
Oh, wow.
Game 1, fly out to the pitcher. He secures it. End of the top of the first, but the Rockies got to be happy with the start. 7-1. And as we move to the bottom of the second inning, we want to make sure that people know who our press conference sponsor is that we have after the game. That is Breckenridge Brewery, always there for the good times. Thank you for treating our players like celebrities after the game. And we will see who our player of the game is. See if, you know, the two people in the booth know what they're talking about. Steve Hayes, Mr. Boyd, do we know? Or are we just totally wrong? Which we usually are.
Odds are we're extremely wrong, but, you know, we try our best. And we're here. And this is Evan Coe's first AB ever, I'm being told. Let's see how it turns out. Career average of 0.
We always appreciate the fellas down in the truck letting us know if there's anything we're missing during the game. Always, and a drive to left, and it's foul. Foul like the smell of Brian Kenny's shirt because he never washes it.
That's right. I think the Zoysia out in third base line kills any ball down there, so you really don't want to hit it down the line. Evan looks back to try and figures out the rules.
Evan clearly doesn't know the rules of this game, turning around, wondering what the hell's going on.
Again, his first at bat. Good eye, wow. He let that one outside. That was the knuckler, I can see.
Do you blame Evan looking back at it as a poor management, not really making sure he knows?
Oh, that's a single, and he starts his career off with a single, a CNI single.
Let's see if the Rockies throw that ball over the side for Evan to keep, share with his family, and wow, this is pretty interesting. They're not going to throw the ball back for his first career hit.
Interesting. Is there some bad blood between
There is some bad blood out here between these A's and Rockies, let me tell you.
Wow.
And Paul with a hard screamer.
Oh, no.
Got the double play.
Wow.
Paul wasn't necessarily sprinting out of the box, and it comes back to haunt him.
You can't do that with Brian Kenny. If he's out there, you gotta run. You never know what he could do at any moment in time. He's so unpredictable, and he's so darn good.
You know, Brian, 3-time Platinum Hands winner, 2018 National Fielder of the Year. You can't do that when he's out in the field. You always got to know where Brian is, and you just can't hit it near him. If you hit it near him, he's like a vacuum.
Yeah, Paul knows he made a mistake. I can see out there he's hanging his head a little bit, but Paul's one of the best at responding to adversity. He's one of the best there has been. That's the reason why he's got, 5 championships under his belt. So he'll turn it around. You watch and see.
And I just want to remind folks about our Saturday night of Season 21 Home Run Derby sponsored by Four Hands Brewing Company. We have 2 breweries, and Blake interrupts this press release with a barrel bomber to left field. Adds the lead 8-1 Rockies.
I hope everybody in the SWBL is watching because Blake is not messing around this season. Wow, that was a hit.
You know, an underrated part of this league is traditionally lefties have dominated, but today, you know, I think they may be seeing this ball come out of Evan's hand a little easier than normal.
Yeah. I really like his placement, but, you know, you just can't do that. The Rockies are back, and they're feeling it. They picked out their real hot black shirts. They're really sweating and getting to it.
And another drive. Man, he plays that right field wall so well.
That's my boy. My boy.
There he is for you. And, you know, you're a former pitcher, Edlow. You've been on the mound a couple times. Talk to me about tipping your pitches, especially in this league. These hitters are so good. They know what's coming. You know, what would you look for with a pitcher that might be tipping his pitches?
Yeah, well, I thought I was a current pitcher until just now, so thank you for retiring me from the pitching game. I appreciate that. You can see here Evan has a really good strategy of hiding that ball behind his left leg. Now, next inning when we see Chad pitch, you're going to watch. He puts the knuckles up right in front so everybody can see and says, "Knuckleball's coming. Hope you can hit it." I really don't like telegraphing pitches. I like to hide them as much as you can, but when it comes down to it, the pitch is going to do what the pitch is going to do. So let's just get out there and tell everybody what's going on.
Yeah. Some things that I've done. And Brian with a swing and a miss.
Oh, and a ball on the head. Gosh.
That is not something the Pringles Corporation wants to see, but maybe he can make things better now.
Cool stat.
Oh, and a fly ball. Is the wind going to carry it? It's going. It's gone. It is
Home
gone.
run. That's another 2.
Brian Kenny coming out swinging. A guy that had a total of 4 home runs last season has already got 2 today.
Wow.
He's got to be feeling good. I know he's making his wife and family proud as they're watching right now. Hi, Katie.
That's so right. Fun fact, Brian's got the oldest tennis shoe or oldest cleats in the entire league. Those cleats are almost 15 years old.
Oh my gosh, Evan Quo giving up another home run. On the other flip side of the coin, we hope his family is okay and not watching today's performance. We want to make sure he gets home and is accepted back into this family.
That's right. They're really seeing the ball, and I don't know if that's Evan. I don't know if that's just the Rockies, but I don't want to take it away from the Rockies and say he's not pitching well. I still think he's hitting his spots. The Rockies just came out ready to go.
Yeah, that's a good point, Edlow.
They all are.
And Jason is up again. Rockies are feeling themselves. We have a 11-1 game here in the top of the third. Starting to get into mercy rule territory. I always hate talking about that, but it's something to keep in mind if they keep swinging the bats. A's currently are not warming up anyone in the pen.
Yeah, I really don't want to see this first game end in a mercy rule. I want some runs. I think everybody watching wants some runs, but the Rockies just don't care.
Ball is foul.
Wow, called by Jason.
That was a home run if it's fair, and it was fouled by about 18 inches. Not something we know nothing about.
Absolutely right. So high, hits the wind out here, and sometimes it just gets pulled into a cyclone and it comes back. So, very nice sportsmanship from Jason, by the way. He immediately said foul.
And as a left fielder, you check Paul's energy. That's one of those where you're just kind of blowing out of your mouth, trying to blow that ball foul.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Luckily, the wind was on his side today.
Yeah, exactly. I think. Oh, a walk! Wow.
And our walks this year are.
That was 6. I'm sorry, I thought we were playing college.
Never mind. I was going to tell you our walks, just in case Jason does walk here, are brought to you by Ketting Eye Center. Every time there's a walk is something to keep in mind of, because you have a great eye if you can walk in this league. These pitchers have pinpoint accuracy. If you're able to get 8 balls, Edlow? Did I say 8? That's pretty impressive.
It's a good amount. I've never really walked, I don't think, my entire career, so I wouldn't know.
Yep.
I go up there ready to hit, but some people just don't like to hit. They like to walk.
And those that go to Ketting Eye Center leave with great eyes. The people that walk most in this league can tell you they've all been to the Ketting Eye Center, somewhere that Jason clearly has never been to after that strikeout. And we will move to the next hitter in the Rockies lineup, which is Blake Spencer, who has already homered twice this game.
I'm afraid for this wiffle ball in Evan's hand right now. I don't know what Blake's about to do to it, but this guy looks like he's got some bad intentions.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, playing in that Mo Whiff League might change some things for Blake this year. Getting a lot of very good pitching, fast pitching, quick reactions, really bringing him into an element here as he swings with that back right foot twirling around. Vintage Blake Spencer swing there.
I'm getting a word from the booth that last wiffle ball home run was an exit velo of 100 miles per hour as Evan touches it fair. That's a single.
You got to wonder if Evan lets that ball go, maybe it rolls foul and they get to redo that dance again, but that is going to go in the books as a single for Blake, and he keeps his hitting streak alive to start the season.
Perhaps. And here's Grant. Here's your player of the game here. Let's see how he does.
And the pitch. Just a bit outside from Evan Quo. We were talking about this a little earlier. We've had a bunch of home runs already in this matchup from the Rockies. Got to think one of their players enters the home run derby. Just want to let everybody know it is sponsored by Four Hands Brewery. Hit some dingers, donate some money, and take part in a beer tasting from Four Hands on Saturday of Memorial Day weekend here at the Blur. Also, don't forget to mark your calendars down for our partnered event with Four Hands to test your wiffle skills at Keener Plaza downtown on August 26th.
Wow.
Tell us about your wiffle skills, Edlow.
Last year had a little bit of a down year, but this year I'm looking to come back. I'm actually being a little bit more selective at the plate. You're going to see a lot more walks from me this season. Oh,
and there's a fly ball foul.
Grant's a tough out. Anywhere that ball is, he's going to swack at it. And sometimes he gets a piece, sometimes he doesn't. But I'll tell you, pitchers don't like seeing him up there.
It's something, this is our fault. This is part of the failures of media today. We did miss that Grant is sponsored by Willy Wonka. I think the nerds, or maybe the chocolate bars, it is quite unclear, but I think they're one of those companies that was really investing in the potential of a new season, taking a year off. His stock was a little lower as media reach, but now, back in the season, you're going to see more sponsorships on people's ankles and calves. So that ends the top of the third inning. We have a little bit of a blowout here today so far, but that doesn't mean the A's can't strike back in the bottom half. We got a score of 11-1. Edlo, tell me, if you were on this A's team and you were the leader of this team, what would you be telling your teammates right now, being down 10 runs?
At any point, you got to look back in prior seasons. At any point, anybody can hang 7 on anybody. And so, yeah, they might be down 11-1 currently in the bottom of the third, but they could put a 7-run inning right now, no problem, and they'd be right back in this game. And you know what? I really don't think they have been testing Chad's control. They've been swinging a lot. They maybe need to see a couple more pitches. So if I was telling my teammates, I'd say, hey, look for some stuff outside the zone and don't swing so much. As Steve swings right away and proves me the fool.
Steve swings right away.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
That ball has no chance of coming back. Santa Maria, home run.
And that's why I'm not a captain. I tell, hey, look at more pitches, and Steve goes up and says, Carl wants to go back to back. So
and now you're back to being right a little bit.
Right.
Okay. Well, I think you're probably right. Being down 9 runs, he's already down 0-2. That is a situation where you do want to get base runners on, make some things happen. We already saw the Rockies. They have hit some home runs. And Michael Carl slams one to right field, and we can't tell if that's gone. It's foul.
Oh, this is interesting.
Wow,
the only people on the foul line are the Rockies, and they're a little bit biased, I'd say.
The A's don't have anyone watching the foul line. You got to wonder if that's a strategy they'll pay off for them.
Oh, gosh, he got a strikeout there.
And that is why this league is so tough. 1 second, you have your first home run of the season. You're having a good night tonight, getting some sloppy steaks with the boys, and now you're struck out sitting on the bench.
Oh, that's
and
the
that's
first pitch.
strikeout. And that's strikeout. We don't have the bell today, but every time there's a strikeout, everyone knows, and we ring that bell, something we used to do in the past, and not anymore, the booth is telling me, which is fine.
It's home runs now. It's just home runs.
And if you're first time watching, we do have buckets of balls out on the field. We do have buckets of ball behind home plate. And every time, we go and pick up the balls, it means that the pitcher doesn't have any balls to throw. And I just want to, let everybody know that that's what those buckets are for.
Exactly right, Spencer. Well said. And they really need 2 outs here. If Evan doesn't get an up and down here, it could be curtains for this A's team.
Yeah, we moved to the top of the fourth. The A's did score a run, but they're going to need more than 1 run per inning to get back in this ball game.
And I'm going to tell you something, Spencer. Something we don't want to say out loud is that no team has ever lost this first game and won the championship. Ever.
Now, is that a statistic we need to really keep note in, or maybe look back and see what teams have played in this game? Have they been championship caliber teams, or have they been teams that maybe didn't have a chance?
I don't know. I would never say that about my fellow wiffle ball players here, but that's your opinion.
No, that's not my opinion. It's a question.
Oh, interesting. No, I think the first 2 teams traditionally have always been teams that are fun to watch. And last year they put on a the Expos were in the year after their championship in the first game. We tipped it. And they didn't make it to the championship that year. But they could have. I don't know.
You know what I like? I like wiffle ball players, but I also like some pulled pork sandwich. Oh, man. Brian Kenny.
Oh, I thought that was gone.
You can tell when Brian is at his best, he's hitting the ball at all parts of the field, and that one goes to right field. He's back on first. But what I was saying was I like wiffle ball players, but I also like barbecue from St. Louis, from Daly's Smokehouse. They are the official sponsor of strikeouts this year. If you're looking for another drive down the right field line, this Rockies team is scrappy. Ball's getting a little slippery out there in right field. Gotta wonder if there's some butter just on the ground, just making everything a little oily. But again, I just want to tell everybody about Daly's. If you're playing fantasy football or fantasy wiffle ball, you get points for the pitcher if they're on your fantasy team. So make sure if you're a guy that likes to strike out, you sign up with that home run to center field. Jason is here to play. Daily Smokehouse. Go get your barbecue food.
Spencer,
anytime there's a strikeout, which the Rockies really haven't done it all today.
Spencer, I think that might have been the death knell. I think that last 3 runs, it puts them up 14. This could be the last inning. If the A's don't score a whole bunch real fast and get out of this inning quick, we could be seeing a mercy rule for the opening game, which we don't want.
We don't want that. It is a score of 12-2 currently, Rockies. It is 14-2. My counterpart has that correct, and Blake just really wants to go home early.
Blake.
He wants to watch a couple of horse races he's got money on this afternoon.
I'm having some bug bites. I'm seeing some bug bites, and I don't know if that's going to be something that plays into this weekend, as there's quite a bit of bugs and gnats. Oh, whoa, a pitching change.
We have a pitching change. We have Paul Castellano going on the field. He is a member of the Skibby Wiffle Ball Hall of Fame. He's a member of the All-Decade Team, Platinum Hands winner, and he has been a player that has consistently put in eaten innings for this athletics team. He always seems to be a guy that can get some big outs for you, and he comes in to hopefully soften the blow. So far, it is a 12-run lead for the Rockies. The 13-run lead now, I apologize, and the mercy rule in this league is 12 after 4, so we are keeping an eye on that. Currently, if the inning ended now, the A's didn't score, this game would be over, which again, I don't think anyone saw this coming. The A's were a half-run favorite. The Rockies have already beaten the over-under for runs by themselves. This is just something we didn't see coming, Edlow.
Here's what I'm going to say, Spencer. Paul's coming in to pitch. What Paul needs to do is let up a whole bunch of runs right here real quick, because he doesn't want to hurt the morale of his lead number one pitcher in Evan. He needs to say, hey, it wasn't your pitching. They're just hitting really well. So Paul needs to give up probably 6 or 7 here and let them get mercied, because I don't think they're coming back.
That's not a bad strategy. I heard the St. Louis Cardinals manager say early in the season these losses are going to pay dividends in September. He's kind of insinuating that losing is good.
That's correct.
So I think the A's may be taking that approach. Losing your first game will only make you stronger, which in return, 2 weeks from now, who knows how strong you'll be after this loss.
Yeah, no. I think Rockies coming into this game, everybody's a little bit afraid of their fielding. Their pitching is good, but darn it, if they're going to put up this many runs, the league is in trouble, because the Rockies have great D. They've been there before. They have championship caliber pedigree, and if they can hit this many home runs, I'm scared. I'm very scared.
I agree. And this was a pitching matchup where we were pretty excited about, knowing that Evan is a guy that comes in.
There's no way he gets that.
And he's safe at first. Beats the throw, even if Paul catches that.
Yeah.
And again, Grant coming in already making a huge impact. I think he's been on every time. He's passing the bat to his next guys. He's given Brian that opportunity to come up big. He's given Jason that opportunity to come up big. And there's a rip down the line by BK. Edlow's potential player of the game. Yeah, it's a single. Single.
Interesting. See, this is where it comes.
It's a new rule change. New rule change. Ball goes under the fence, and you basically stop at the base you were at. There's no automatic double.
Here's the question: do you think they really went under the fence, or is crafty Steve Hayes just manufacturing some base position, some preferable base position? Because it seemed like he grabbed that pretty easily.
Now, I do question what just happened. They made Grant go back, although I thought he already had third by the time the hands were up. We would have to check with the commissioner after the game.
Yeah.
See what the official ruling on that is. But that is something to know going into the season.
Spencer, that's a blown call. He was 3/4 of the way there. I don't know. I don't know if I agree.
Yeah, you got to wonder if the A's are going to play this game under protest and just replay the whole thing.
I think they should. We'll start first inning right now.
And Adam North up to the plate also had a great game. You really could say that about all the hitters on the Rockies so far.
Yeah, they really have. Up and down. Everybody at any point can have a home run. Isn't that what I said?
Yeah. And here's the pitch from Paul, and Adam hits it off his foot, right back to the pitcher.
Reminder that the score is 15-2, top of the fourth. We are in Mercy Watch territory.
Hashtag Mercy Watch. That Mercy Watch is brought to you by Mercy Hospitals. You'll find them all over town, and they will take care of you if you get a broken leg.
Yeah. I went to Mercy Go Health the other day.
Mercy Go Health, big winner. Usually takes a couple weeks to get an appointment with my doctor. I just go to urgent care. Give me literally whatever I want, and I'm out the door.
Oh, and that's the bases loaded for the first time in the season. We'll see how they respond here. Paul, if nothing, is a volume pitcher. He can throw strikes. He can let them hit. But I am so nervous if I was the A's right now, because Jason is up, and Jason's been hitting the proverbial crap out of the ball.
Yeah, you got to think that as far as launch angle goes, he's one of those guys that probably leads the league in launch angle. He has a very severe uppercut. And I know the fans at home, specifically the fans at home, are wondering, how many outs are there right now?
That's correct.
And to be honest with you, I'm wondering the same thing. And as soon as we find out, we'll let you know.
We're asking around. The Rockies don't know the outs, and we'll figure that out soon here. But
And I wonder if the truck knows how many outs there are, because we're still trying to figure out how many outs there are.
Oh, wow.
And just going to guess, I'm usually right when I guess, I'm just going to guess there's 0 outs.
yeah, that's
What do you
right.
think? You think there's 0 outs?
I mean, odds are, considering that the truck just told us there's 0 outs, there are 0 outs. So
That's a good point.
that's right.
And Jason's still looking for a good pitch to hit here,
Yeah.
asking his team to watch the radar gun. I guess that means he thinks Paul's throwing a little hard. Interesting thought, being up the amount of runs that they are. And there's a grand slam for Jason. Really, really wanting to make an impact. I know he's on a contract year. He's wanting to stay a member of the Rockies. What a great way to start off your season. And that is 8 runs this inning. Teams are going to switch. And while we do that, we're just going to update the score. It's 19-2. Got to be a blow to the esteem of the A's, as they all drink their beverages on the sidelines here. Eva, I'm going to ask you again. We tried to go through this exercise last inning. If you were on the A's, would you change your strategy up here? Would you maybe try to?
You got to see more pitches. You need some more runners. You need to see some more pitches. You can't jump on everything. 1 home run doesn't mean anything.
You're down 17.
They are down 17. They need 6 in this inning, which is almost 7 and the inning's over. So
If the A's score 6 runs here, I will take my shirt off.
all right. Oh, and Paul swings at the first pitch, which far be it from me to tell any a Hall of Famer what to do, but I think they need to see some pitches here. They need runners.
Yeah, I agree. And we've had a lot of great performances this game. As members of this booth, it is our responsibility to pick the player of the game. And if the game ended right now, I really don't know which player you go to. I think maybe you bring the whole team up there, huh?
Tell you what, Spencer, I'm not calling it yet. I think this game still has legs, and I maybe
Spoke a little too soon.
So they're down to their last out. They need 6 runs on 1 out. It's been done before. It could happen right here. This is my player of the game up right now. I'm holding out faith. Watch this. Steve Hayes, home run. Betcha $10 right now.
All right, let's do it.
We've shaken, so all the viewers know we have shaken on it. And it is
Any other
$10.
outcome, I win.
Any other outcome. I'm that confident in Steve. Here comes the knuckleball. We can see it. Oh, no, it's still a gold
I
glover.
will take that via Venmo, and that's the ball game. The Rockies come out, game 1. They win this one 19-2. You gotta wonder what the A's are going to be feeling after this game. They have to sit and sulk for 2 weeks. The Rockies get to party for 2 weeks leading up to the season. That's a big win. What's going through the mindset if you're the Rockies, being up 1-0, starting your season in 2 weeks?
The Rockies can't let this go to their heads. They scored 19 runs. They hit a premium pitcher, and they hit Paul too, who's been in the league pitching for a long time. So they can't let this go to their heads. They need to have a good, solid mentality on day 1 after this that they're 0-0, and they can really have a good season. But man, that was a showing. They came out.
That was a showing, and this was a great day for wiffle ball. We do have Game 2 coming up later today that will not be televised, but we will be posting the results of all of those wonderful, or it won't be live streamed, I apologize. We will be posting the results of those games, and it's going to be a very exciting game. And you know what? This day is so beautiful. It reminds me, maybe I'll go have a barbecue this afternoon, which reminds me, we do always have our Monday barbecue, Memorial Day. We'd like to thank our sponsors for that barbecue that will be coming up on Monday, Memorial Day weekend. Johnny Pops, LogX, Spencer Gear, Breckx, and Chill Designs for sponsoring that, so all of our families can come and have a great time and watch some wiffle ball. This was a great day. Rockies really showed out. We got to decide who is our player of the game. Edlo, if you had to pick one player of the game, who are you going to go with here today?
Jason hit the crud out of the ball. Grant was on every at-bat. But I got to say, Blake Spencer's my player of the game. He is the captain. He leads this team in the right direction. And I saw some home runs off of his bat that were hit so hard, I don't think anybody's catching those.
I think you're right. Blake had a great game. Like we said before, every player here could have been player of the game. But my player of the game is Chad Young. I mean, let up 2 runs against that offense that could potentially put up 10 to 15 runs a game. I mean, pretty decent offense. Allows 2 runs. Rockies only need to score 3 to 3 to win. They scored a lot of extra runs. I'm going with Chad Young as my player of the game. And luckily for everyone out there and Chad's family, I have first right of veto of any other votes. So Chad Young is officially our Andy's Frozen Custard player of the game. We are going to get some video of him up over in our press conference area to talk about him and test his knowledge on what happened in today's game. So thank you everyone for watching today. My name is Spencer Bogad. This is Ed Lodon to my side, and this has been Game 1 from the Skibby Wiffle Ball League. Check in with us next time, and go Bears. And it's a wrap.